Hello and welcome back to Elden Ring. This is part 3 of our run through the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC of Elden Ring. Last time we went from the Cliff Road terminus off through this left section and through Prospect Town. We also went up meeting Moore and Sir Ansbach, and we went through Belurat Tower Settlement. This entire legacy dungeon, though there was a key, the storeroom key, that I don't remember using, so we may have missed one or two things, but I feel like I did a pretty decent job of being thorough, at least for a first run through. But we also got the Horned Warrior Sword, the Pata, Poisoned Hand, the Bone Bow, along with the Oathseeker Knight Armor, the Divine Beast Head, and a chance drop of the Horned Warrior Armor, along with the Blessed Blue Dew Talisman, which any build that uses lots of FP will absolutely love. But we are back here at the 3-path cross with this person.
Ah, well met. That was a fine battle indeed. It heartens me that another warrior stands among us, among the beckoned. Long ago, I was stricken by scarlet rot in the swamp of Aeonia. Immobile, feverish, and in great pain, I was entirely resigned to death. I was left behind, and only kindly Mikola was good enough to seek me out. My wound was swollen and festering, exuding a most pungent odor, and yet he drained the poison from it, despite my wretched visage. Now, I consider this wound my compass. Let us both take kindly Mikola's guidance to heart. May we meet again on the battlefield, brave warrior. Do you wonder why the eternally dour fellow keeps his distance? He's one of the tower's horn scent. I can only assume he fights for his own reasons and carries his own burdens, but we needn't concern ourselves with his affairs. He too was charmed by kindly Mikola and guided here, and that makes us allies. We're not gods, you and I. Even if we did manage to dig up the secrets of his past, I doubt our meddling could ever amount to much.
We may not be gods, but I killed God. Well, actually not on this character, but on other characters I did.
Let us both take kindly Mikola's guidance to heart. May we meet again on the battlefield, brave warrior.
And this is the eternally dour guy.
I urge you, follow after Mikola. As long as you abide by his footfalls, you will be no enemy to me.
Wonderful guy. So we can go left or right here. I'm gonna go left, because you always go left first. And you may say that that's just bias on my part for being left-handed. Ow, I was not looking at the ground. If you were looking at my health bar there, I was below half health. I'm now almost at full health. From one swing of the weapon. Such is the power of Blasphemous Blade and Taker's cameo. Unironically busted. Ash of War, Savage Lion's Claw. Ooh. Lion's Claw is already one of the best Ashes of War. So, an even better one. Here. Oh, does this one have a follow-up attack? Savage Lion's Claw, skill of the particularly brave, even among the Redmanes. Somersault forward, striking foes with armament. An additional strike may be performed with an additional input. Yeah. So they both take 20. So, are they both... Like, do they both do the same damage? Like, is Savage Lion's Claw just Lion's Claw in every way, shape, and form, except it has a second additional input option? Because when I heard Savage Lion's Claw, I assumed it would be put on, like, bigger weapons or do more damage. Something like that. But even if it's something as simple as you can do a second input, that's so strong. And I don't know why this is so glowy. Larval Tear. Okay. Abandon Ailing Village. So larval tears allow you to respec. Which, if you don't know, it just lets you move around your stats. So let's say you have a new cool weapon, but it takes like 35 dexterity and you only have 17 dexterity. You could use a larval tear to get yourself up to 35 dex. Though you would need to sacrifice a different stat. So it's good if you want to try out a new weapon that you don't know the stats for. Or did I go this way? It doesn't look like it. But yeah, it just lets you recreate your character in terms of stat investment without actually having to create a whole new character. Furnace Visage. I don't know where that would be. Up to this point, I've been able to guess where they've been. And I kind of whiffed on this one. So I am sorry for that. But crafting item. You can pause and read that if you want. I don't do crafting items. Greater Potentate's Cookbook 2. Hefty Furnace Pot. Throw at enemies to create a whirlwind of flame, which takes 2 Ember of Mesmer, mainly found in the Scadu Eltis. They really did just start making them names, didn't they? I mean, that's what names are, but still. We're just gonna move on. And there are sheep. And kind of surprised that there's no enemies here. I'll take it after the... It wasn't really a beating, but after taking a death in the last part. Is that a dragon? Oh, that looks like a dragon. And dragons tend to be pretty easy, but I don't know if I'm up to fight a dragon right now. I mean, if it is a dragon, I'll fight it, because again, they tend to be pretty easy. But I'm in more of an exploratory mood right now. I want to look around. I want to see the world. And all the very strange and creative things Miyazaki has conjured up to kill us. There was a structure somewhere that I briefly looked at when I'll get back to it, and then now I don't see it. And that's a, ooh, that's a cave. Right, I get that there's a lake there, but there's a cave. Which I understand isn't anything spectacular by itself. This thing. One of these that I looked at and said I'll get back to it. I don't know if this is the one that I saw or not, though. But still, I love caves. Like, in Elden Ring, Gravebird armor. We can look at that when there aren't birds trying to kill us. Alright, back to the cave. Because as I've said, I love caves. I love the idea of just a giant place inside the ground that you can just head into. White flame. So in Elden Ring, there's like the yellow torch, there's an orange torch, there's the beast repellent torch, which is red, there's St. Trina's torch, which is yellow or purple. I know my colors. There's Ghostflame torch, which is blue. These torches are white. Belurat Gaol. Well, it's a jail, but it's still a cave. So I'll take it. And this is beautiful. I said it back in, I think, part 1. I love blue. If it's blue, yes. Quit yo whining. Frozen maggot. You can pause and read that. Wait, anything involving like water or like dark, damp, wet areas, like caves. Jesus Christ. I'm 23 and I'm still too old for this. I have a heart attack. That scared me more than any horror game possibly could. And that doesn't seem fair. Like, I can usually just go through things and not really be fazed. But the idea of gravity coming to get you in a Souls game, ooh, no, terrifying. But as I was saying, anything involving water, dark, damp, wet places, again, like caves, or blue, especially this, like, misty, ethereal blue, yes, directly into my veins, please. There are few things better in life. Besides maybe vibrating at the speed of sound. I mean, that's also pretty good. It very much, it really impairs their ability to talk, I must say. It makes speaking real hard, but it feels good. And I feel like that's a worthy trade-off. Now, I know that we have the general rule of don't kill things unless they're trying to kill you. But these guys are sitting in jail. They're probably here for a reason. Probably because Mesmer started killing people. Probably. So we're just putting them out of their misery. Oh, please, not the jar. Anything but that. I promise I won't ever do it again. I swear, a living saint I'll surely be. Please, you must forgive me. Forgive me, please. I mean, doesn't Alexander, Iron Fist Alexander, doesn't he give you a jar that you can put on your head? Like, I don't see why jars would be a bad thing. Jars seem like a decidedly good thing. This feels like a trap. I'm not going to the center of this room. I don't trust it. Okay. I really hope the money that I spent on the DLC is used directly to pay for Miyazaki's therapy, because no. No. That should not be going through a normal person's head. That... No. That's not good. Alright, see, like, having seen that thing and having to deal with parkour now, or platforming, like, now I understand why the guy said anything but the jars. Was there an item up there? I wasn't even looking. Ugh. Ooh. Okay, so we can go this way, which is probably, like, the normal way. There are enemies down there. But if we jump over here, then we can jump over here. And that gets us up onto this heightened area. No! This is something you would see in a Resident Evil game. And I'm not okay with that. Hefty correct bot. that is useless to me because I don't do crafting. But still glad I got it. And that's why I don't tend to rush things. Like, I wouldn't really consider myself to be a Let's Player, because outside of this, all the games that I played, but besides this, all the games that I played so far have been games that I know pretty well. So I wouldn't consider myself to be a Let's Player because they play a lot of new games that they don't know. But how I play compared to how Let's Players play, I take it a lot slower generally. Miyazaki really needs therapy. Alright, but I take it a lot slower. And I can definitely see some people thinking of that as being a bad thing, because either I have to make the parts longer, which I try to keep things around an hour, or Jesus Christ, you can't do that to me. But either that, or you have to make more parts and you don't make as much progress per part. And so it takes longer for you and other people to see things. But going slower oh, you're big. Anyways, going slower allows you to catch more secrets, and you get more lore and stuff like that. Is that a big loop? Like, did I just kill an enemy to get like a shortcut to the loop? Because that's what it feels like I did. Oh. An item there. How we get there? Well, but there's an item there. Aw. Gross. So it looks like that's the way to go in terms of like progress. I don't know if I was about to say, I don't know if Slime Guy's gonna come after me. Now, if you look, we took a bit of damage because Slime Guy'd us. But we were able to just get that health back. Like I said, Taker's cameo, very good. Very powerful, very potent. Very potentate. Greater Potentate's Cookbook 11. You know. Alright, we should probably get rid of this guy. Innard meat. Oh, no. So... I assume that would be a crafting thing. I don't know where it would be. I really don't know where that would be. Might be one of these. It is. Throw at enemies to inflict damage. Scraps of flesh for filling great jars. Rancorous spirits cling to the pinkish red, twitching meat. Throw at enemies to inflict damage. This is what becomes of the condemned who get sliced up and stuffed into jars to become saints instead. Delicious. But the cookbook. A hefty freezing pot. Throw at enemies to cause a large buildup of frost, which takes 3 white flesh mushrooms and 3 frozen maggots, which we have 24 and 27 of respectively. Meaning that it's probably not hard to get these or grind them up or anything like that, because of how many I already have. Oh, that's a grab attack. Oh. No. Everything about that is horrible. Ugh. That is vile. Right, but we can probably run jump this. We can. I got a hefty cracked pot as a reward for our efforts in this area. I don't know if there's any more items hidden around. I don't imagine there'd be much of importance left, because I feel like we've been somewhat thorough. But moving on. Oh, big jar. Big Papa. We missed! Well, that's okay, because we know how to dodge. And great swords are busted. Things we all know for 100. No. Like I said, Miyazaki creates incredible games, but my man needs therapy. No mentally, not mentally, but no like psychologically healthy person creates this. No one who's doing, like, no one who's in a good headspace in life thinks about entertainment and comes up with that. It doesn't happen. It's not real. You cannot convince me it's real. Because it's not. I refuse to accept that. There's a Stegomata. Is there anything else around? It doesn't look like it. Also, I just realized we can't teleport out. Which, I mean, it's a cave, so that makes sense, but... This do be one of those... You're either committed or you're not. Though, thanks to the advent of the Twiggy Crack tier, which is wonderful and I highly suggest, if you die and you suddenly realize that you don't want to be down here, you can come down here with the Twiggy Crack tier, take a sip of that, pick up your runes, die on purpose, and then get out safely. I mean, die, but get out safely with your runes and not have to commit. Demi-Human Swordmaster, Onze. My man's got moves. My man has got moves. And those moves have damage to him. Oh, he built a frostbite. Neat. Demi-Human Swordsman Yosh. We're getting spear dashes. 129 FP. That's on par with Black Knife Tish. Let's see. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell. Used to summon the spirit of Yosh, the demi-human swordsman. Onze, a master swordsman who devoted himself to the star-lined sword, realized that only a ruin awaited at the end of the procession of stars, and imprisoned himself in order to forestall it. However, Yosh, an apprentice who absorbed his technique, stubbornly refused to heed his master's words and spent entire his life at his side in defiance of his self-imposed seclusion. Well, if the Spirit Ash is like the boss, then that's pretty good, because they had moves. They had lots of mobility. And they had decent damage as well. I mean, I was able to just... forehead the boss because greatswords are busted. But still. That was good. So there's still this way and this path. Great Bridge North. I think I went through part of here, but not all of it. So we can keep going. And we... Skidoo Tree Blessing is for you. Revered Spirit Ash Blessing is for your Spirit Ash. We have 3 buffs to ourselves and 5 for the Spirit Ash. Also, I sat down to level up and then forgot. And all of that we get 1 level. Oof. Bit unfortunate. And I don't even know where to put the level. Because, like, health would be good, but I need another, like, 15 points for that. Mind would be good, but I don't really need it. Endurance would be good, but I need another, like, 10 to 16 points for that to fully flesh out. Strength is good, but it could be more. Faith is good, but it could be more. Dex and Int might be good, but... that would be for future weapons, and I don't even know what they are yet, so I'll keep my levels for now. Oh, how it hurts from very tip to toe. I'm not saying that. Help me, I must ask. Am I human still? Is that the reason I yet suffer so? I mean, you don't need to be human to suffer. Like, things get eaten by spiders. And there are few things more horrifying than being eaten by a spider, I feel like. Maybe that's just a personal thing, but I feel like there are a few worse things. Broken Rune. Oh yeah, there's the area down there with the dragon. I say as if I know it's a dragon and not just a pile of whatever. We can end off on that. Greater Potentate's Cookbook 10. Hefty Fly Pot. Throw at enemies to release a large swarm of blood flies. So that's like the incantation Swarm of Flies, I'm assuming. Where for very small enemies, it can semi-stun lock them. And it builds up blood loss. I know it has a different name in this game, I just can't remember it. Like hemorrhage or something. As I said, I don't really follow the official naming of things. Mostly because things just bounce from game to game. So, to give an example, in the attribute points, the first one, which I have 45 points in, that changes game to game. And so I just call it health. Because it's like, everyone knows what health means. Whereas, in, like, Bloodborne, it's called Vitality. But in Dark Souls 3, Vitality is your equip load. And then here in Elden Ring, Vitality is your resistance to Deathblight. And so it's like, Vitality, from game to game to game, has completely different meanings. But if you just say health, everyone knows what health is. But anyways, Ailment Talisman. Raises a resistance to the last ailment suffered. That's actually really good. I don't know how much it raises resistance, but on a conceptual level, I like that a lot. But a talisman depicting a soul taken by sickness. When certain ailments are triggered, this talisman grants resistance to the same ailment. When the weak were infected with the dreaded fly sickness, they perished well before the metamorphosis could take hold. Oddly, those who cared for the infected and made certain they were given a proper burial were never afflicted themselves. Oh yeah. These things really seem like the fly enemies in the painted world of Ariamis, or Ariandel. One of the two. The Dark Souls 3 one, the DLC, really seem like the enemies from there. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing of like, look at From Software being lazy, reusing assets. Because... Rude. 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 Because this... all of this... and these 3 locations are the base game. And then this, which it really feels like this is going to get bigger. But this is the DLC. For a single game. And some game companies have been talking about raising the price. Like, I remember when the PlayStation 5 came out, some companies were talking about raising the price of games from $60 to $70. Whereas Bloodborne, one of the best video games in all of history, to this day, is $20. And yeah, Bloodborne is kind of the odd one out in that, since Dark Souls 1 is 40, Dark Souls 2 I believe is 40, or 60, Dark Souls 3 is 60, Elden Ring is 60, but still, From Software, they're like not greedy in any way, and they really give you a lot of bang for your buck. And so, reusing assets, like one enemy in one location, like 2 or 3 games apart, totally fine. Especially since they almost always do it well. But I forgot about this. Stone armor with a tinge of green and one of a set of armor pieces cast in the image of the Gravebird. Gravebirds are ancient golems created to guard the spirit graves built where all manner of death ultimately drift. Not bad, not bad. Oh, painting. Serpent Crest Shield. So that is here on the map. Just below the left side of this water place. I don't remember which one that was, but we found 2 paintings up to this point. Alright, this is a medium shield. A finally made red shield featuring an engraving of a winged serpent excels at guarding against fire, said to have been made to commemorate the beginnings of the crusade started by Mesmer, son of America. Alright, so we now definitively know who Mesmer is. At least why he's considered to be important in some way, shape, or form. Because he is the son of America. We now know that. That really looks like a dragon. Great katana. A great katana. New weapon class. Nice, nice. Scales with strength and dex, causes blood loss buildup. Large katana with a long, heavy blade. A weapon unique to the warriors of the land of reeds. Designed for aggression. This armament requires the wielder to throw their entire body into swinging it. The slashing attacks of the honed edge incite blood loss. Skill, overhead stance. A skill that starts with the blade held high in a ready stance. Execute a normal attack for the stance to step forward and slash downwards, or a strong attack to deliver a series of downward slashes. That voice felt very strange. That's definitely a dragon. Ghostflame Dragon. Oh, we do no damage. Hi. This is a bone-dead dragon. And it shoots out Ghostflame. Oh, that is so cool. Whoa! Whoa! That was a very long stun. And did a lot of damage to Torrent. Alright, so you have different moves. Alright, well that move's the same. But, yeah, that, like, charge move is different. Compared to the normal dragons. Or, like, the dragons of the base game, I should say. And that does a lot of damage. But the forward breath attack, well, we can't do much about that. As the wind got in our way. Uh-oh. That's not a forward breath attack, but the forward breath attack don't hit us and therefore can be abused. That one. Because as long as you're not in front of them, you're safe. And with that, you need to back up. Right. Right. Well, we got the timing on that. That's good. And stab! So, I really like the design of this dragon. Oh! That was very lucky. That's a very cool looking attack. Quite scary though. But yeah, I really like the visual design of this dragon. And I really like their changed up moveset. Because it feels good, it makes the dragon feel different, and it can definitely catch you off guard. But it doesn't feel unfair. It's like, if I get hit, I deserve to get hit. And that felt very nice. 100,000 runes, a dragon heart, and a somber... I call them ancient somber stones. Just to make it a bit shorter. But very cool, very cool. That is... I mean, all the dragon incantations, because dragon hearts are for dragon communion, to get dragon incantations. And all of the dragon incantations, you can get in the base game with the amount of dragon hearts you can get in the base game. So you have everything you need. So the only reason for you to get dragon hearts here would be if there's dragon incantations or dragon sorceries, which I don't know if they would do that. But if there's dragon magic here in the DLC. I'm very torn between dex and health. I'll go with dex. But yeah, so I don't know these things because I didn't really watch the trailers or watch any news or anything. I'm going into this with almost no knowledge. But getting dragon hearts means that there's probably going to be dragon magic, which is good. But here in this part, we went through the abandoned Ailing village, the rundown Traveler's Rest, and the Belurat Gaol, which was much bigger than a normal cave in the base game. It was much more expansive. It honestly felt kind of like a minor legacy dungeon. More like Castle Morn than like some random cave in Limgrave. And it had a very cool boss that got us a very cool seeming Spirit Ash. I haven't used it, but seemed pretty cool. And we also got to fight a bone dragon in the lake here. And we also got one of the paintings here. And with that, some of the things we got would be the Great Katana, a Great Katana. We got the Serpent Crest Shield, a medium shield. We got the Grave Bird armor. And I believe we got a few talismans, like the Ailment Talisman, which I don't know how strong this is, but the concept is very good. And I don't remember if we got this last time or this time, but we got it one of the two times in one of the parts. And we also got some items. Oh, new item, Golden Horn Tender. Boosts a rune acquisition for a time. Old currency used by Horn Scent, sent by or made by coasting spiral horns with gold. Boost the amount of runes obtained from defeating enemies for a certain duration. Can also be sold for a high price. Once bestowed upon inquisitors as an honor. We also got things like innard meat, and we got to see one of the grossest enemies in the series. Which, vile. We also got some... We got, I think, 2 new hefty cracked bots. 1 or 2. I think 2. And we got some more cookbooks. Which not super good, but more options. And I'm not gonna use it just yet, but the Great Katana seems very interesting. This thing looks very nice. And this moveset looks quite nice. You can get a poke in there. and some savage chops as well. So this seems like it'll be a very fun weapon to use. Ooh, different moveset when two-handed. Well, this will definitely be a ton of fun to use. But with that being said, not the greatest amount of progress in the world, but we still went through a minor legacy dungeon. We got a powerful Spirit Ash. We beat 2 bosses. I feel like that's decent for your first time going through an area, taking time to explore and keeping things under an hour. So I'm happy with that. And with that being said, yeah,